Hello, everybody. James here. One of the more notable comments on WWE Raw on Netflix, which I'm going to be doing every time, yesterday, aside from various promos from wrestlers declaring that they were going to be in the Royal Rumble, was CM Punk cutting a promo about the Royal Rumble while being interviewed by Jackie Redmond. If I had a fedora, I'd be tipping it right now to Jackie. CM Punk said that Roman Reigns needed him to settle family matters, John Cena wouldn't pose a problem, Drew McIntyre he put in the dirt, and that Sami Zayn, who declared for the Royal Rumble earlier in the show, wasn't on his level. But then he had an interesting thing to say about a former two-time WWE Royal Rumble winner. Yes, that's right. 71-year-old immortal Hulk Hogan. Now, while Hulk Hogan, who can barely rip his t-shirt off these... I'm sorry, I'm going to have to show the video. Just one sec. Here we go. I've always got to show this video about him not being able to tear a t-shirt. Here's the problem that Hulk Hogan, he can tear a t-shirt still. The only problem is that he had two on and he grabbed them both at the same time. He was meant to do a reveal. Anyway, while Hulk Hogan, he can barely rip his t-shirts off these days, has not declared for the Royal Rumble yet. CM Punk took aim at him anyway when he said the following. Bear with me one more second. A very, very attractive way of sort of paused the video there as well. Just one thing just before I... Hang on, let me just play it one second because it looks weird. I really love that WWE now are doing the backdrop of just having the fans when doing interviews. I think that looks so great. And AEW actually did this briefly as well at one point as well. And now that they're in smaller venues, I think they should be doing it as well. Because it sort of harkens back to the Superstars Wrestling Challenge days of when they stand on the big blue plinth. And, you know, ink would run from Ultimate Warrior's hair. But yeah, I just wanted to make mention of that. But then CM Punk actually mentions Hulk Hogan here.
Ask me about Sami Zayn. He's not on my level. You put Hulk Hogan in the Royal Rumble, I'll throw his dusty ass over the top rope, and I'll kill Hulkamania once and for all.
That is, one, quite the statement to make, and also, dusty old ass. It almost sounds like CM Punk. Well, we'll figure that out in a second. Anyway, essentially, CM Punk is called Hulk Hogan washed up. And he is washed up. He's 71 years old, and he's shrunk like 4 inches because of all the back surgeries, for goodness sake. I mean, body slamming Andre the Giant obviously came with repercussions. But the WWE Raw crowd in Dallas, Texas, were clearly happy to hear CM Punk shit on Hulk Hogan's dusty ass, if you can imagine that visual. Now, I'm going to get back to what CM Punk said there in a second, but let's rewind a couple of weeks earlier to the debut episode of WWE Raw on Netflix. Hulk Hogan shuffled out, he dropped some names, he promoted his goddamn beer, and then he promoted WWE Raw on Netflix to ever more progressive and vitriolic booing. Not even Jimmy Hart waving the American flag behind him could stop the sort of onslaught of unmerciful booing that was aimed at Hulk Hogan. So then Hulk Hogan read the room, he didn't get rattled, he said his piece, and then left in short order. And then he probably, in the back, in gorilla position, had a go at Jimmy Hart for not waving the flag hard enough. I'm joking, don't write in. That segment went so badly that, according to Fightful Select, WWE are now looking at alternative faces to promote real American beer on WWE television. And this is despite the fact that Hulk Hogan has been the brand spokesman since the beer debuted, I guess you would say, went on sale. And Hulk Hogan, his image is actually on the can. So who else they're going to get to do, unless it's Randy Hogan or whatever it is, that jobber from WCW. I genuinely wonder, with CM Punk saying that, I genuinely wonder if that was a director from Triple H or someone like that himself to bury Hulk Hogan and basically get the bad taste out of the fans' mouths that Hulk Hogan sort of left in there a couple of weeks earlier when he was just... I mean, it was a terrible look for WWE to have one of their stars just be turned on. And I suppose, why did Hulk Hogan get booed in the first place? Well, me and Stevie Richards last week or the week before, whenever it was, discussed this, and everyone in the comments was like, well, it's obviously this reason, it's obviously that reason. But the fact is that there's 3 reasons. You can pick and choose 1, 2, or 3, if indeed you do feel that way about Hulk Hogan. And the main one, obviously, is the racist comments he made some years ago while being secretly recorded by Bubba the Love Sponge. And they haunt him to this day. He's apologised many times for them. But quite frankly, a lot of people just aren't forgiving him. And that's entirely their right to not get over it, not forgive them. And there's no reason to forgive him for that. And WWE has done everything they can to rehabilitate Hulk Hogan's image, including having him host WrestleMania with Titus O'Neil as well, and that just didn't really wash with quite a lot of people. I think some of the New Day were not happy still and basically said they didn't want him in WWE for those reasons. There's another reason, and if you couple that with Hulk Hogan's various appearances at Republican political rallies for Donald Trump, that's only going to serve to alienate half of your customer base. Or in WWE's case, maybe even more, because I still believe that the WWE audience skews left. You know, if it was in UFC, I mean, they have Donald Trump, you know, they make a big deal of him actually turning up to the event. So if he was in UFC, he'd be cheered like crazy, I'm sure, at least on that front. And then some people were saying, well, The Undertaker was on WWE Raw on Netflix that same episode, and he didn't get booed. And that's true, he didn't get booed. He did have Donald Trump on his podcast. When he was on the campaign trail up to the election. And the point is this, is that, yeah, he had Trump on, and yeah, I'm sure Undertaker, you know, voted for him. But similarly, Undertaker was not going to the Trump rallies and tearing his T-shirt off and making a big deal about it. I mean, it was a big enough deal he had him on the episodes, or the episode for an interview, but he wasn't out and out trying to rally support for him like Hulk Hogan has. So for the most part, it's probably gone under the radar, Undertaker's support for Donald Trump. And the third reason is, have you ever heard Hulk Hogan on an interview? Look, the guy cannot tell the truth. Or at least he starts off with the truth, and then by the end of the story, he veers so far into the work or the lie, into bullshit territory. And it's exhausting and it's tedious, and people have the internet now, so they can actually fact check what he's saying very, very easily. And the fact is that once I actually compiled for a video probably coming from the future, I think over 50 separate lies that Hulk Hogan had said in interviews that were like demonstrably lies or so far-fetched that it's just embarrassing now to have him on. I mean, an interview with Hulk Hogan is completely useless. So I actually think in many ways, put it this way, I've got great respect for Hulk Hogan as a performer. I mean, I think his ability and his accomplishments, not his accomplishments, but his ability as a wrestler and a performer, are in some ways really underappreciated and really underrated. And that being said, I mean, he's like Ric Flair these days. Every time he opens his mouth, he shits on his legacy and the cumulative years of complete bollocks he's made up and talked about to put himself over in stories has just done him no favors whatsoever with the hardcore WWE fan base. So you can pick 1, 2, 3, or all three of them if you want for a reason why fans were booing him that night. Now, I want to add this. Hulk Hogan was in the promotional material for the upcoming Saturday night's main event on January 25th. And I'm genuinely wondering if he's even going to appear on the show now, or if he doesn't, was he planned to appear on the show? And I've got a feeling, this is actually going to be this Saturday coming, I've got a feeling that Hulk Hogan may have been, you know, positioned to make an appearance on the show. I don't know if Jesse Ventura is going to be there and do commentary. If Jesse isn't, maybe Hulk Hogan was going to be on, you know, that whole deal with those two. But I'm wondering, or I'm guessing, that if he was scheduled to appear, that now he isn't. That's just my guess. We'll see on Saturday. Now, which wrestler would you have replace Hulk Hogan for the Real American Beer thing? So if WWE truly wants to replace Hulk Hogan as the face of Real American Beer, I was thinking, well, you know, Kurt Angle would be great. He's an Olympic gold medalist. And I thought, well, hang on, isn't he a teetotal former alcoholic? So maybe not. Jake Hager? No. Lex Luger, he's not quite as photogenic as he was once, so no, Del Wilkes is no longer with us. Then I thought, how about Sergeant Slaughter? He might actually be a good one, because, you know, he's got the mustache and the chin, and he can wear the hat, and, you know, wave the flag and everything like that. The spandex fatigues are still there. I mean, he wasn't actually in the army, so I don't know how that will play out, I guess. But he was in G.I. Joe, so that's got to be worth something. Anyway, my actual pick is Scott Steiner. Now, the other thing that I actually forgot to mention earlier and I want to bring up is that, well, WWE, can't they just walk away from the deal? No, here's the problem. WWE is now actually a minority stakeholder in Real American Beer, and they've also signed a multi-year deal to have Real American Beer promoted on their shows, and especially on the ring canvas on every single episode of WWE Raw on Netflix. So that being said, it's not like WWE can just cut and run from this marketing campaign. So there you go, really. So apparently they might have to find someone else. But that being said, do you think that CM Punk was told to bury Hulk Hogan publicly so WWE can distance themselves from the Hulkster? Or do you think this is something that CM Punk just thought would be funny? Or, God, I mean, think about this. Is Hulk Hogan going to appear in the Royal Rumble 2025? Are they going to winch him in? Who knows? Anyway, the other question I want to pose to you is, who do you think should be the face of Real American Beer if indeed Hulk Hogan is removed? He's on the can. But, what wrestler would be best to be the spokesperson for WWE Raw and SmackDown and whatnot? Who do you think would do the best job, and who could be a real American to promote such a drink? Make sure you give this video a like and tell me what you think in the comments, because quite frankly, I'm building this channel up from absolutely nothing. I actually had a bank of subscribers, to be honest, because I'd never even mentioned out of the channel. I just sort of advertised it on the other YouTube channels as far as, channels in the WSI network, I guess. But anyway, I'm building up this empty channel with content. So please give us a like and a comment, because it's good for the algorithm. And I will see you for the next one.